Welcome to your 5th class of Yoga Foundations. Today we're going to review most of the postures that we did in the previous classes, and we're going to add Supta Padangusthasana, reclining hand to toe pose. So for the practice, we're going to need our 3 blankets, 2 blocks. If ever you don't have 3 blankets, you could always replace some of the height with 1 block, a strap, and access to the wall. So if you're ready to get started, you can unroll your mats and join me for the class. We're going to start today's practice once again in Tadasana. Make sure the weight is distributed evenly on your feet, activate the legs, the arms, and lift the chest. From here, bring your hands to your hips, elbows back, inhale deeply. On the exhale, fold forward for Uttanasana. Place your hands on your blocks or on the floor, according to your flexibility. Push the thighs back and push the hands into the floor or the blocks. Lift the sternum and straighten the back, and align the neck with the spine. From here, come back to your breath and allow the back of the legs to open. Notice here if there's any tension in one leg or the other. As you inhale, feel the muscles stretch, and as you exhale, feel them release. Bring your attention to the hips as well, and notice here if they're parallel, or if one side is pulling more than the other. From here, make any adjustments necessary, and inhale, exhale, fold even more for full Uttanasana. Allow the back to round off here and feel the stretch in the entire back. Notice if the hamstrings are pulling even more. And again, come back to the breath to allow the muscles to release. Allow them to release in the back of the legs as well as the back. From here, inhale, push your hands into the block and lift the torso for half Uttanasana once again. Make sure to align the neck with the spine. From here, we're going to move into Parshvottanasana. Bring your right foot back with the foot on a 75-degree angle. Align both heels and adjust your blocks so that they're on either side of the front foot. Push your thighs back here and press your hands into the block. We want to bring the left hip back and the right hip forward as we press both heels into the ground, activating the back of the legs. The challenge here is to find symmetry in an asymmetrical pose. Make any adjustments necessary to make sure that the hips are parallel. Once in position, you can come back to your breath, allow the body to release, and make any adjustments necessary. From here, we're going to come out of the posture by bringing the blocks forward and stepping the right foot back to the front, coming back into Uttanasana. Coming back here to a symmetrical posture, we can compare both sides. Make sure to push the thighs back and push the hands into the block, making sure that your blocks are aligned with the shoulders. Align the head once again with the spine. Notice the effects of the posture of Parshvottanasana on the body. As we come in to repeat the opposite side. Now bring the left foot back. Place your blocks on either side of the right foot. Push the thighs back. Bring the hips back to being symmetrical and push your hands into the blocks. Notice here if you can find symmetry in the hips as the legs take on different positions. Make sure here to press the heels into the floor as you keep the hips symmetrical. Come back to your breath and compare both sides once again. From here, we're going to step out of Parshvottanasana, so you can bring your blocks forward, step the left foot forward, coming back into Uttanasana, activating the legs and pushing the hands into the blocks. From here, bring your hands to your hips, elbows up, press the feet into the floor and lift the torso, coming back into Tadasana. Take a moment here in Tadasana to feel the effects of the previous postures. Notice if you felt the stretch in the back of the legs and the hips, as well as the back. From here, we're going to do a second repetition of Uttanasana and Parshvottanasana. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows back, inhale deeply. On the exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands to your blocks. Align your wrists and your shoulders and push your hands into your blocks, straight in the back, and adjust the head so that the neck is parallel with the spine. From here, bring your attention to your hips and feel what it is like to have parallel hips, to have both sides equal. Now bring your attention to the space between your ribs and your hips and make any adjustments to have the skin stretch equally on both sides. Make any adjustments to truly feel that both sides are equal. From here, inhale, exhale, fold forward even more. And allow the entire back to release. Notice if you still have symmetry on both sides. Make any adjustments necessary. And from here, inhale, on the exhale, push the hands into the blocks, straighten the arms, and come back to half Uttanasana. Find symmetry once again, noting the skin between the ribs and the hips. From here, bring the right foot back, align heel to heel, back foot 75 degrees, and place the blocks on either side of the front foot. You may have lost symmetry once you get into the posture, but start by pushing your thighs back, adjusting your hips, and pushing your hands into the blocks. And from here, note once again the skin between the hips and the ribs. We want to avoid any folds in the skin and stretch it equally on both sides. From here, you want to make sure that you're pushing the heels into the floor and bringing the right hip forward, left hip back. From here, move your blocks forward. Step the back foot forward, coming back into Uttanasana. and coming back to your breath here. In Uttanasana, take the opportunity here to feel how the body feels in a symmetrical pose. Simply refresh the memory before we move in to do the other side. Now bring the right foot back, align heel to heel. Back foot is 75 degrees. Push the thighs back, hips parallel once again, and push the hands into the blocks. Now notice if you can bring the skin equal on both sides once again by adjusting the hips. Now bring the blocks forward once again. Right foot forward, coming back into Uttanasana. Pushing the thighs back, pushing the hands into the blocks straight back. And notice the effects of the postures on your entire body, on the back of your legs, your hips. And from here, bring your hands to your hips, elbows up, press the feet into the floor, coming into Uttanasana. Come back to your breath once again. And notice the effects of the previous postures on the body. You can now release Tadasana and simply put your blocks aside. From here, we're going to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog, and we're going to use the wall for this variation. You're going to place your hands on the outer edges of the mat with the thumb opposite direction from the fingers. So you're feeling an outer rotation here in your shoulders. From here, find a distance that allows you to stretch the arms fully as you bring the buttocks towards the heel. From here, turn the feet over and slowly unfold the knees, coming into downward dog. Press your hands into the mat and your fingers into the wall. Feel how your triceps come closer to your ears here. See how the posture or this variation helps you to straighten the back. And from here, push your heels into the floor. Inhale, exhale, bring the knees back to the floor. Turn the feet over and bring the buttocks to the heels. Rest here for a moment in Adho Mukha Virasana. Notice how your back straightened and your arms activated as you push them into the floor. We want to remember this sensation as we're going to do a second repetition without the wall. In this variation, we're going to bring the fingers pointing straight forward, but remember the sensation of how our arms felt as we had the hands turn outwards. So we want to get that outer rotation of the shoulder, but this time keeping the hands straight. So from table, turn the feet over, bring the buttocks to the heels, unbend the knees. From here, push the hands into the floor and bring the triceps closer to the ears, feeling that outer rotation of the shoulders and feeling how it allows you to straighten the back. As you press the hands more into the floor, it also gives you space in the armpits. And from here, bend the knees, coming back into table and back into Adho Mukha Virasana. Note here the effects of the posture on the arms, as well as the upper back. From here, bring your hands closer to you and press your hands into the floor as you lift the torso, coming back into a seated position of Virasana. Take a moment here to feel the stretch in the quadriceps and the effects of the posture. From here, you can grab your strap as well as your blankets or a block if ever you don't have blankets. And place your height at the edge of your mat, allowing for space in front of you to stretch out your legs. From here, sit on the edge of your height, making sure that you keep your strap handy. From here, with knees bent, feet on the floor, place your hands on either side of the body and stretch out the legs. Push the hands into your supports and lift the chest for Dandasana. As you press the buttocks into the floor and raise the chest, feel once again the space between the hips and the ribs. You can now release Dandasana and grab your strap. Place it under the feet, just underneath the toes. Press the thighs against the floor to activate the legs. Inhale, exhale, and fold forward. We want to fold forward from the hips here and keep our back straight and our legs activated. From here, you can bring the chest back up and come back into Dandasana. Feel the effects of the posture on the back of the legs and come back to your breath. We're going to do a second repetition here so you can bring the strap back into place. Bending the knees to allow you to reach the feet. Once again, inhale as you pull on the strap, straighten the back. Exhale, unfold the knees, press the thighs against the floor, and lean forward for Paschimottanasana. Compare both sides here and iron out the skin on the side body to make sure that you're really parallel in the posture. And from here you can release Paschimottanasana, bend the knees, put the strap aside, and come back into Dandasana, pressing the thighs against the floor and the hands into your support to straighten your back. Remembering that Dandasana is an active posture. From here you can come off of your support, put your blankets or your block aside, and come closer to the wall so that you can place your feet at the wall. We want to place the bottom of the feet on the wall, have our knees bent, and keep our strap handy as we come into Supta Tadasana. Lying on our backs with our knees bent, feet against the wall, stretch your arms alongside the body and grab the mat here as you push your feet into the wall to unbend the legs. Push the backs of the thighs against the floor. Supta Tadasana is simply Tadasana on the floor, so it's still an active posture. As you pulled yourself back, all the skin on the back body stretched. Take a moment here to notice this effect. And from here you can grab your strap, bend both your knees, place your feet on the floor. And from here, bring your right thigh to the abdomen as you place the strap on the right foot. Once again, stretch out your left leg, pushing your heel into the wall. and pushing the back of the thigh against the floor. So the left leg stays really active here as you unfold the right knee. Pushing the thigh against the wall and bringing the leg closer to you. So there's an opposite effect here in the posture. You want to move the thigh away from you and bring the lower leg closer to you. Here you can use the strap to help you bring the leg closer. Make sure to keep your elbows bent on either side. And keep both legs active here. Left leg pushing into the floor and pushing the right thigh away as you bring the right foot closer to you. Supta Pada Gustasana. From here you can bend the right knee. Take off the strap from the foot. Bring the foot back to the floor and stretch out the right leg to have both feet onto the wall, coming back into Supta Tadasana. Here compare both sides and notice if your body is once again parallel in this posture. We're going to do the other side now, so you can bend both knees, bringing the feet to the floor and placing the strap on the left foot. Stretch the right leg in front of you, placing the foot on the wall. Activate the leg and now stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling. Thigh away and lower leg towards you. In Supta Pada Gustasana, we want to make sure that the skin between the ribs and the hips is also parallel. So make any adjustments necessary to fold out the skin evenly. From here, come back to your breath, making sure that your legs are always activated and that your hips are parallel, using your skin to guide you in the posture. From here you can bend the left knee. Take off the strap, bend the right knee, place the foot on the floor. And bring both feet to the wall, pressing the feet into the wall, pressing the thighs against the floor, coming back into Supta Tadasana, parallel posture once again, allowing you to compare both sides. We're going to do a second repetition, so you can bend both knees and place the strap on the right foot. Stretch the left leg out, placing the foot on the wall, and stretch the right leg out, going towards the ceiling. Bringing the thigh away from you and the lower leg closer to you. From here, notice if you can bring the hips parallel. We want to create more space between the right ribs and the right hip. Since we bring the right leg closer to us, most of the time the skin folds over on the right side. So make any adjustments necessary. to bring back symmetry in both sides of the body. From here, we're going to come out of the posture by bending the right knee and bringing the left foot to the floor. You can now bring the right foot back onto the floor and stretch out both legs, bringing the feet to the wall once again. Take a moment here to compare the right and the left side. As we go in to do the left side, you'll notice how your skin folds over on the left side of the body, in between the ribs and the hips. So folding both knees once again, placing both feet on the floor. Place the strap on the left foot. Stretch the right leg out, pushing the foot into the wall. Stretch the left leg out, bringing the foot towards the ceiling. Notice here if you've created folds on the side body. And as you push the thigh away, try to push the hip away from you as well. Trying to iron out here the skin between the ribs and the hip. Make sure that you keep the right leg activated against the floor as you push the left thigh away from you and bring the lower leg closer to you. Coming back to your breath and back to your body. Make any adjustments necessary. You can now bend the left knee. Take off the strap and place the left foot on the floor once again. Bring the left foot back to the wall and come back into Supta Tadasana. Come back to your breath and notice the effects of the posture on the back of the legs, on the hips. And from here, bend both knees, bringing both feet to the floor. Press your arms into the floor, lift the upper back off the floor, and bring the shoulder blades closer to the spine. You want to feel here that you're on the outer edges of the shoulder. As you push your feet into the floor, raise the hips to come into Setu Bandha. Interlock your fingers behind your back, making sure to continue pressing your arms against the floor, feeling that your upper back lifts off the floor. Here, continue pressing your feet into the floor as you keep your hips lifted. Inhale, exhale, release to bring the hips back to the floor. Stretch the arms alongside the body. And stay in this position for a few breaths. Notice the effects of Setu Bandha on the body. We're going to come into a second repetition, so interlock once again the fingers behind your back and press your feet into the floor as you raise the hips. Push your hands away from you so that you really activate the arms here. As you push your feet into the floor, release the buttocks muscles and allow your quadriceps to help you lift. You'll notice that the more you push your arms into the floor, the more that it's easier to raise the hips. From here, notice if your skin is equal on both sides once again between your ribs and your hips. Come back to your breath. Inhale, exhale, lower the hips, release the hands. And from here we'll go into Upasana, so you can bring your thighs closer to the abdomen with your hands placed just below the knees. From here, use your hands to press your thighs into the abdomen. Allow the lower back to release. And enjoy the relaxing stretch. Feel the stretch in the lower back, the space between the vertebrae. From here, release the hands and lower the feet to the floor. Stretch the arms alongside the body. Correct the back once again by pressing the arms into the floor, lifting the back, and bringing the shoulder blades closer to the spine. Stretch the legs out in front of you to come back into Shavasana. In Shavasana, make sure to release all the muscles of the body, all the muscles of the face, the jaw, the muscles around the eyes. And once the body is fully relaxed, simply come back to your breath. From here, we're going to slowly transition to come out of Shavasana. Start by bringing your attention to the environment around you, the surrounding noises, the temperature of the room. From here, you can bend one knee at a time, bringing one foot at a time to the floor. Bend your left elbow, bring the hand to the abdomen. Bend your right elbow, bring the hand to the heart. From here, feel the movement of the breath going through the body. Now bring the right hand to support the head as you turn over onto the right side. Bring the thighs closer to the abdomen, round off the lower back, and stay here for a few breaths. From here, push the left hand into the floor as you come back into seated position. I hope today's practice helped you to find symmetry in the body, even in moments where we're unequal. Throughout this week, I would like you to be conscious about this in other activities throughout your daily life. I wish you a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Namaste.